I got to the end of recording all this, and I figured that it's probably gonna make no goddamn sense to anyone if I don't at least explain it. So, I want to do a video that was, I guess, like a celebration of Gotcha's life. Like, I'm fucking weird. Like, I don't do super well with things like this, and I always feel like that the person who passed would prefer to be remembered for all the joy they brought versus to be, to really keep everyone down with what happened. And I mean, that's easier. It's easier said than done doing that. And, I tried to, there was a story on, how me and Gacha met that I always thought it was fucking hilarious. And I wanted to tell it and be like, here's this funny time of how we met, but there's no funny in me right now. So, and I tried doing a memorial video just all in one take like I saw so many others manage to do, but that just failed a couple days in a row. So I just kind of today, I ended up just turning on my camera and my mic, and I would just come up, I'd talk about Gacha for a while, and then when I couldn't talk about Gacha, I'd just go take a break till I could, and I did that for a while. And I figured that I would just take everything I said and keep it, but just take out the, just like the empty spaces in between when I'm just fucking processing shit or whatever. And I just wanted to say that so it doesn't seem like this is some super planned, super scripted thing. It's just I don't know how the fuck people manage to like do something like this in one steady take. I genuinely do not. So I guess with that being said, I hope you guys can, I'm not gonna say be happy. I don't know what even words to use, but I guess it's bittersweet is the best we can hope for. And I hope to get to the point sometime where looking back on stuff like the stuff that I'm talking about here, just kind of can be happy remembering that it was, and not so sad that it no longer is. But that's all I had to say. So the first time I ever met Gacha was actually doing a podcast. And no, it wasn't like Legends. It wasn't Dokkan or nothing. We were actually doing a podcast of all things on fucking girl advice. Like, so I honestly don't even remember. For some reason, I want to say it was either my friend Stanky Wafers or Azdeek who like first got me, like, who I first found out about him through. And they had done a podcast with him, so they told me to put it up, and a fucking podcast on girl advice. Like, I remember literally, I said like, yo, what's up? And then once he told me it was a podcast on girl advice, I just remember literally immediately, I'm like, no, I'm fucking out. Like, to explain to y'all that I don't have game would be a fucking understatement. I mean, I've had pretty much one relationship ever, and then dumpster fires at every other attempt. And even looking back now, that relationship was kind of a dumpster fire too, but I just didn't have the perspective to realize it. But I immediately told Gotcha, I'm like, no, come on. I just need to, I can't do this. Maybe on the next one. He's like, yo, no, it'll be fine, like, you'll just be laughing the whole fucking time. And I mean, he was right. He was fucking right. And I just remember, like, day of the podcast comes. And, we started up and fucking, he gives a little bit of good advice to start it off. And Stanky's fairly young. Like, I think at this point he would have been, like, still a like late teenager, like 19 or something, I don't know. So, he's still a little cocky as fuck, like all of us are when we're younger. And, he's actually a decent functioning human being. He's been in a couple of relationships, and, so he's giving advice. And then it comes around to me. And I cannot tell you guys, like, underestimate the whole time. I'm sitting on this podcast, and it's been, like, probably, like, 6-7 minutes into it, and I haven't really said shit. Because I am just fucking terrified. I'm like, goddamn, this dude is so fucking cool. And I'm about to just fucking look like an absolute dumbass here. So, it gets around to me, and I like, stumbled through trying to give some advice, but I'm like, just generic shit like, oh, be yourself, as I sit there not wanting to be myself in the fucking least. And we end up like, and I feel like Gacha could tell that I'm just fucking floundering here. Because, he keeps cutting in and fucking making jokes and shit. And I just remember the whole time, he's just doing his very fucking best to make sure that I'm fucking laughing, that I ain't feeling fucking awkward. Because, I never said shit, but he could just tell. But I think that kind of epitomizes the person he was. There's so many people I can't fucking count the people who I've heard say something almost verbatim that Gacha let them, or made them comfortable feel like themselves. It really, I want to know where the fuck Gacha got all this confidence from. He not only had the confidence to just so utterly believe in himself, but he had enough to just spread that around to so many people. I know I've heard Ignan say so many times, he was my number one hype man. And fuck. Gacha was 100% my number one hype man, too. Shit. He was the first person to ever pay me for editing, and it was fucking, I didn't deserve it at the time. I even, would try to tell him, nah, man, I'll just fucking do this shit for free for you, but nah, he insisted on it. The first fucking video that he ever has me edit is fucking, hey, I'm doing a collab with the biggest free-to-play player in Dokkan. You want to fucking edit it for me? Fucking... And a little while later, doing another video for me, he's like, hey, I got a fucking collab with, J-Fan again and Goresh. You want to fucking edit this for me? And I didn't, the quality didn't fucking... He could have had 100 other people who would have done it better for him, but... Nah, he believed in me. I can't tell y'all how unbelievable it is to me that he could actually get me to believe in myself. I don't really talk about this too much, but I am a person who is utterly devoid of self-confidence for the most part, for the most of my life. And I hope I don't come off like that, because, I don't want to. It kind of fucking sucks too. But, not having any self-confidence has genuinely fucking destroyed most things that I've done before video editing. You know how fucking dumb it is to drop out of college 3 times because you think you can't do it when you're there in a full ride each time? Do you know how fucking, dumb it is to think you're fucking dumb when the Navy's like, hey, for a year and a half, they're like, hey, please come be a nuclear engineer for us. But that's just this fucking derelict brain. And somehow Gacha powered through that. But that's just Gacha. He fucking beat it into me that I was great. Until I believed it too. See what I really empathized with when I saw it? I remember seeing in Kensei's video that, he felt isolated at the time until he met Gacha, and then wasn't so much. Man, I feel that like a motherfucker. Fucking, when I started, my job at 5'9", fucking, my life was a little, kind of, it was all self-induced, but it was a little fucky, and I'm like, alright, here's my chance to, fucking get shit right, and I figured, okay, I'm making some kind of money video editing, so as long as I do nothing but edit videos and learn how to edit videos, then, at some point I'll make more money, and then I'll fucking, this will be good. So I literally, cashed out all the money I fucking had at the time, bought a PC, had enough for, a month's rent and a little bit of food for a couple weeks, and I moved into the fucking apartment I was in down in Butler originally with my friends. It was, if you ever watched any of my Legends videos or anything at the time, It was the one with like the shitty ass couch and the drop ceiling and whatnot. And fucking, like I was kind of at that point, like, I mean, it was looking back on it, it was a dumb fucking decision, but I was just like all in on that shit. Like literally, I didn't really have a room in that house. Like I had a bed in the back room with my one friend Lou, but like I don't really like sharing rooms. Like my fucking schedule's fucked, so like my entire world there pretty much was like that couch, and then like, you know, that little just fucking self-imposed box. I mean, I didn't have a car or nothing at the time. Like I was, and I like, you know, I went into it thinking, this would be fine, but like I didn't realize like how much I was used to, you know, being able to just like, you know, bum a car off my parents and whatnot. And I mean, from the time that I moved in to the time that it burned down, I went on a 3-day ski trip. I went to my parents twice. And if we're not counting grocery trips, besides that, I don't think I left my, no, not I don't think. Literally the only other time, like outside of that I left my apartment was like going to take out the trash and come back in. I mean, just pretty much there fucking weeks on end because, I don't know, I'm bad at focusing on shit. So I figured if I just kind of cut out everything else, then, you know, it might work out. And it's not that I didn't, you know, have my 2 roommates. They were like, they're dear fucking friends of mine. But, you know, the schedule that, you know, I was kind of operating on, especially at the time when, like, all the editing I'm doing is Gacha videos and whatnot. And these are focused around, you know, Japan time and whatnot. So, you know, I'm up at fucking just these late-ass hours. And, you know, any of my, like, IRL friends are, you know, they're responsible at this point. Most of them have, you know, graduated college, you know, got a, you know, girlfriend, wife, all this shit, and I'm just a fucking bum who hasn't like done shit with my life. So, but then, you know, like you know, through Gacha, like rapidly, you know, first person that I, you know, knew through him was James, and then the rest of everyone else. And man, I can't, like, so many goddamn nights back then just hopping on VC. And you know, it's a lot better when you have other people who are there with you. Like, they're not doing the same exact thing you're doing, but a group of people who can just kind of, like, empathize with the stresses and just, like, the joys of what you're going through at the time. Should have taken advantage of it more, though. It's gonna sound fucking dumb, but, like, I don't know if I've really, like, ever really told too many people, but I'm sure, like, honestly, if you really, like, look at me, it comes off pretty strong. But, like, I'm a fairly anxious person, and it's weird though. Like, if anything just involves myself, I got like zero anxiety about it. Like, you know, like, I know some people, like, interviews and stuff like that bothers them. That literally, that shit does not faze me in the least. If it just involves me, like, what's the worst that's gonna fucking happen? But people stress me out though. Like, not like just people in general, but I guess any sort of, like, relationships with people stress me the fuck out because I don't know, I feel like just offhand a lot of people tend to like me, and I feel like that's, you know, most people are just decent people, they're gonna like most people, but it never fucking feels deserved to me. And I never feel like I am what I think people see me to be at any given time. And it's fucking so dumb, but like, I just remember all of these, like, every time that I would hop on, you know, any of the servers, like, depending on which one we were on, I'd always go into VC, and I pretty much see if Gacha James was there. And I don't fucking know why, but I don't know, if they were there, I guess I felt that, you know, I was kind of like a +2. You know, if I got brought along, even if the rest of people didn't really give a fuck if I was there, it'd be okay. But that's just, like, the way my fucking brain is. Like, it's just some derelict shit sometimes. But I guess the nice thing was, though, man, Gacha was in that VC goddamn almost every night. So pretty much any time I wanted to just have people to talk to, I did, and I felt okay to be there. And I just like remember too, like, you know, and I got like fucking bounced from 5'9". I'm sitting like, you know, my initial instinct was just fucking fuck it. Like, I'm done editing. I'll just go back and fucking do manual labor, some shit again. Like, it's whatever. You can break your back for $1 pretty easy. And I remember like Gacha and also, you know, all these people he's now brought into my life just being like, nah, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. You gotta do better. And I mean, I guess it's relatively recent that I managed to like actually internalize a lot of this like confidence and stuff that everyone around me was showing. But I guess what got me through quite a while, honestly, was just, you know, so many people who I think know better than me are saying this. Well, I'm not going to call them a liar, so I just lied to myself for a while till I didn't. I don't know, I guess over time you just fucking learn it. I mean, it's wild. I learned a fuck ton from Gacha. I mean, even just like basic life shit. I mean, here's a fucking, I hope you get a fucking laugh at my expense here. So fucking, you know, after working at 5'9" for a while, you know, I get a little bit of an ego. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm the goddamn shit. You know, I know what the fuck I'm doing here. I think I want a raise. And you know, the thought immediately after that was, I'm talking like seconds later, I sit there for a while and I think, fuck, I'm 24 and I have no idea on how to ask for a raise. And it wasn't that like, you know, I had done it before, had a rough idea, and just had to work. I'm like, I straight up just have no idea how to approach this. I've never worked anywhere where the pay was anything but fuck you, you get this, and if you don't like it, we'll hire someone else. And I'm just like, how do I, like, I'm like, I could like read, like Google this, but like, that's just not the same thing. I'm like, I need to go ask somebody about this. So I remember fucking, like I sent Gacha a message and I'm like, yo, if you're free, you mind like hopping on VC at some point today? And he's like, yo, sure. And he like hops in like a couple minutes later. And I like, so you know, tell him, I'm like, yo, I think I'm worth more. I wasn't, but I thought I was. And I'm like, how do I fucking, you know, ask for more money? And he just like genuinely fucking kind of like led me through it, like, you know, how he's done, how he'd approach it. And it fucking worked. Like, I didn't like, and it's wild, like, it's just like basic life shit like that I don't know, I guess I really appreciate it. Like, the number one thing that I just fucking keep thinking about now is like realizing how fucking vapid my motivations are for most things I do. Like, it keeps running through my head that, you know, like he was making the content and literally giving every ounce of energy he had to making it work because he wanted a better life for himself and his mother. You know why I fucking started making YouTube videos? I was bored. I literally just did it because it was summer. There was fucking, I was an unemployed bum and I had nothing better to do. I remember so many times, like, we'll be in VC and he'd be like, yo, damn, I'm fucking so tired from making content and all this. And I'd just be like, I'm so glad that, you know, I just do this for shits and giggles. And I mean, like, how the fuck did I not realize what kind of a cunt I came off as? Like, if I were him, if it was me in his position, shoes reversed, I'd be fucking livid at myself every time I heard that. But, I mean, he was just a better person. I mean, like, continuing on fucking vapid, like, you know, literally why I started up and I started actually, like, doing video editing? Because I thought I could. Like, that, like, literally, like, most people, it's so fucked to say, because, like, I know people who, you know, like, use video editing to get out of fuck situations in their lives. I know a lot of video editors who are just like, man, I just, like, always really liked this. And you know why the fuck I did it? I was fucking unemployed at my parents' house. 5'9" put out the fucking application for a video editor, and I'm just like, I think, like, I like, you know, replied the post or some shit, and I'm like, is it open to anyone? And then fucking, I think they like, I can't remember exactly what it was. Like it's, but so, like something along the lines of that. I just remember fucking Gacha messaged me on Twitter and he went, do it. So I'm like, fuck it. How hard could video editing be? Like, and like, how the, like, somehow I didn't even like realize. I'm like, no, I probably shouldn't do, like, you know, like, you know, I'm not ready to be a video editor. But I was just like, fucking egotistical enough to be like, fuck it. I'll do it. And you gotcha this crazy fucking like that fucking confidence again. He was just like, fucking do it, man. And then, you know, I fucking like, he's got a message to me a little after that too, where he's like, fucking, you know, like, hey, make sure you do it, man. Like, I'm talking to him right now, and I'll never know what the fuck he said, or I don't know if he said anything, but like, I've always assumed that he had to have just been fucking hyping me up like a motherfucker. Because I mean, my portfolio was 3 shitpost memes. Fucking, I had no goddamn experience. My interview was a fucking dumpster fire. Like, let me explain to you how this interview went. So I thought I was supposed to get an interview on Tuesday. And then I either Tuesday or Monday, it doesn't really fucking matter. And then fucking at like midnight on a Sunday, I was about to go to bed. I had been anxious as fuck because I was waiting for this interview, so I'm fucking baked. I'm pretty fucking drunk. And then no, Laura reached out to me and he's like, hey, you know, we got a lot of people for these. Is there any chance that we can just do yours sometime tonight? And I'm just like, oh yeah, let's fucking do this. Let's get it. And then I go into this interview, and then like that, it sunk into me a little bit there for a moment, like the depth of the shallowness, I should say, of like my knowledge compared to what was needed. And I thought it was a dumpster fire. I remember like sending Gacha a message afterwards, just like so fucked up about it. And even then he was like, nah, I wouldn't worry about it. Like, I think you still got it, but even if you didn't, like, you know, you keep moving on. And then, you know, fucking he was right, I did somehow. But like, I don't know, I guess I was just like, I have no proof. I fucking wish I would have asked him, but I don't know. I guess I always assumed that fucking he's a big fucking reason I made it in. And I guess on top of this all, like, you know, so many people I've seen say myself say, you know, like, it is like almost unfathomable where Gacha found the time to both make all this content and to just do so much for so many people, and just to be everywhere he was, to be in so many VCs, just be almost omnipresent. And what I think it is, I mean, what was just evident is that to Gacha, the people that were important to him in his life, and that was the most important thing. Like, you know, I always thought that I could say that I was a person where, like, the people in my life meant more than anything to me. But I'm coming to realize that that wasn't even close to that. I was the most important thing in my life to me. And the people that I enjoyed and that I cared about were, on my own terms, like, I guess my favorite thing to fill my time with. To Gacha, no. I mean, people were just like the number one thing in his life to him. I mean, he'd fucking do anything for you. He did so much for so many. I mean, you know, I don't know who it was, but I remember someone saying somewhere, it could have been on Twitter, could have been Discord, I honestly have no idea, but they said that they had Gacha help them out with some thumbnail shit as like one of the last things that they like ever interact with them, you know, like before things got bad, and they felt fucked up about it. And I wish I knew who it was, but whoever it is, like, I hope they know that they shouldn't be. I guess it's selfish of me to assume, but to me it always came off as he would have been happy that when he still could, he was still helping people. I don't know. He was just like a way better friend to me than I guess I ever reciprocated or really deserved from him. I mean, I'm just so fucking childish. I mean, I guess one last thing that I really have to fucking kind of help him, give him credit for learning from it. I mean, at the risk of just sounding like an absolute fucking sociopath, like him, and especially like I guess like just the people like, you know, he kind of brought in my life to kind of help me fucking relearn how to feel. And like I guess the best way to describe that is not that like I literally couldn't feel nothing, but like my brain is kind of a fucking nightmare. Like, I mean, when you get taken to an anger management therapist as a 5-year-old, and 6 months later you stop going there because you've burned through every person there, and they're just like, yeah, we're not gonna fucking deal with this. Or when you fucking go to your like college's therapist, and when you go to sign up a second session, they just tell you, I'm sorry, we have nothing we can do to help you. Like, this brain's fucking derelict. And I mean, it really started getting bad when I was fucking 14. So like my initial reaction was just to, if shit always feels bad, why not just not feel? Fucking 2020 happens, and I'm on a plane coming back from Colorado at the start of 2020. And I sold my PC to get the tickets out there. I had to bum a lot of money while I was out there to make sure it worked. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. I'm like, you're fucking 23. The fuck are you doing with your life? Like, you don't give a fuck about nothing. Just like, all right, let's actually try and fucking do something about it. And boy, that was a rough time. Like, not to make jokes or nothing about it, especially about this, but you ever just look back at a decision and you go, you know, this was probably the right decision, but you know, the timing was just a bit fucked on it. Boy, that was not a time to start trying to put your life together and fucking just caring. Boy, that was a tough fucking time. It was a little while after I fucking got hired on to 5'9". I'm sitting there and I got my PC and I got my desk and fucking, I mean, I'm literally living on a couch at this point. Cuddy's new album came out, and the one song, Sad People, I remember I listened to it for the first time and I just fucking broke down. I mean, absolutely just fucking started bawling. And it was the first time that I had cried in fucking, God, I don't even fucking know. I mean, literally very well possible. I mean, like possibly a decade. I mean, like approaching, like around, like could not remember ever fucking just I literally like I think it would have been maybe when my grandpa died, but like I legitimately just, I mean, that was already when I was just going, okay, fuck feeling, just don't want to do anything. So like, and I was just like really, I shouldn't say all like used to. I fucking hate crying. I fucking hate it so much. Like, because I just beat myself up over it. Like, I know there's nothing, like, it's more fucked up to not cry than to cry, but like I have never seen my dad, my grandpa that was alive cry. Fuck, I never saw my grandpa fucking smile. Like, I'm not good with this shit. But I just remember fucking bawling, and I mean just fucking, and just in that moment I'm like, okay, I felt genuinely happy about something, which is, if you feel numb, you'll never feel happy because you just don't feel anything. And I'm like, fuck, okay. I felt genuine happiness into just fucking, honestly, the first genuine sadness that I had in so long, because I'm like, fuck, now I got the emotional intelligence of a 14-year-old, and I just gotta power through this. And boy, let me tell you what. So started doing Cuddy's album came out in November, I think, give or take. Maybe later. Would it have been into 21 or December, January when it came out? I honestly don't know, because I mean, I'll be honest, when you're in a fucking like 10 by 10 room for the most part with fucking almost no goddamn sunlight, like no sleep schedule, like time didn't really make sense. I mean, it's still like my time, I kind of fucked my perception of time up pretty bad, but I mean, I just, decided, okay, we're going to start trying this. And I remember, honestly, like, that fucking, when you all of a sudden decide, I'm going to take on adult life with fucking a childish ability to process stress and whatnot. Boy, I remember fucking for months, just months, every day that I'd probably cry a couple times just because like I just got fucking overwhelmed by shit. But I feel like I made so much this fucking video, way too much about myself and fucking not enough about Gacha. I don't know. I guess there's really like, I could go on for so long and it probably would be nowhere near enough to just like capture the man. So, I don't know. I guess I started this video with a positive story. I mean, I tried to, you know, and I was told that first story of how I met him with the Girl Advice podcast in the hopes that I could, you know, do something more funny, something to more celebrate his life than not. But there's just not a lot of funny in me right now. But I guess I hope that was still a positive story, just showing that, like, man, from the get-go with everyone, this dude is just like, just a fucking shining fucking beam of light in people's lives. And I guess I got like one more. I got like one more story that I just kind of, you know, it's another little celebration of his life. So, you know, like I talked about how, like, me and so many others, like it's been said so many times, like, had almost no fucking idea, like, how Gacha could work as fucking hard as he did. And I'm not gonna pretend like I fucking do. There was, like, one sliver of me that, like, you know, something about my brain, you always want to try to explain the unexplainable. And I don't know how many people he ever told. I remember him saying it a couple of times, but like, you know, something that would stick out to me, so maybe it wasn't a ton. But like, Gacha was also a musician. And for anyone who hasn't tried to be a musician, and I don't mean like, hey, you're in the school band or something, I mean like actually create art that you want to show out to other people is one of the most brutal things you can do in your life. I mean, it's fucking hard. And so, like, you know, I'd mentioned to God, like, I always wondered if the fact that he was a musician too and had gotten as fucking good as he did kind of made content creation not easier, but just like that perspective of how quickly, you know, he was attaining success compared to, I don't know how, you know, he did with music overall, but like, I mean, damn, I mean, he was fucking killing it. And so, like, you know, the one day, like, I just, like, offhandedly shared my music with him. And, you know, he kind of, like, he told me he enjoyed it and whatnot. And it was, like, nothing special. But, you know, a couple weeks later, he's like, yo, dog, I got something to show you. And I'm like, oh, what's up? Show it to me. And he sends me a song. And I'm fucking floored by this song. And, I mean, I genuinely say this, not even like, not just as his friend, nothing. Like, I heard this song, and if I had came across this as just a stranger on the internet, as someone who, you know, really likes metal music and whatnot, I would have been like, holy fuck, this is good. And you know, like, I knew it was him, like 99.9% sure. Like, I'm listening to this, and I'm like, he didn't tell me specifically it was him because, you know, he didn't, you know, like, he just said, hey, check this out. And I'm a fairly literal person. Like, I tend not to try to interpret what people say because I always fucking get it wrong. But like, I fucking know this is him. And so, you know, like, I don't want to fucking start, like, I mean, I don't want to start hyping it up too much and being like, yo, this is fucking amazing. If it, you know, just have it find out it wasn't him. So I, like, you know, kind of slyly, I'm like, yo, this is pretty good. Like, you know, who is this? And he's like, oh, it's me, dog. And I'm like, and then when it was confirmed, I'm like, holy fuck. I mean, like, I can't believe that, you know, he didn't share it more. Like, I get it. Like, I really haven't shared my music with anyone who hasn't, like, specifically asked for it or nothing, just because from the perspective of the person making it, it is almost inseparable from self. So the fact that he shared that with me, honestly, it fucking meant a lot. It fucking meant a lot. But you know, it's just funny, the fucking shit you remember and the shit you regret. Like, it's just like I said, like I always wanted to ask him, you know, hey, are you fucking is like, did music ever have, like, did the fucking all that effort you put into music help you with having this fucking drive for content? Because I mean, even my lazy ass, like the only reason I like that I've ever been able to, I feel like one of the biggest reasons I say that I've been able to, you know, even make the minor amount of content I have and like stick with editing to the degree I have, is because comparing it to what you have to do to fucking make music, it is so much easier and the payoff so much quicker. And not that it's easy or quick, but just comparatively. And you know, won't, never will get to. But, and like speaking of like remembering shit, like this would have been back fucking last fall, and just one of the days we were supposed to like record a video would have been we were just talking about the world tournament, and you know, it got pushed back a little bit, and I'm like, ah, oh, no worries about it. He's like, yeah, I just wanted to go take a walk, and he's like, send me a picture of fucking, you know, this like woods he was walking around in. And you know, fucking just shot the shit for a while. He came back, we recorded the video, and I'd give a lot to be able to have. I mean, I'd give a lot to have even like a day of that again. And man, I gotta be honest, like, I really should have fucking told him how much he impacted me more when I could. I mean, I'm not that I never told him. I told him a couple times, but in the way that he beat self-confidence into me, I should have just been fucking annoying with beating into him like, holy fuck. Thank you for letting me unfuck my life. And I mean, it's not that it was just him who was like solely responsible for unfucking it, but him and people that that I was introduced to through him. That accounts for a lot of why I was able to. And I mean, I said I was gonna end on a happy note here with that story. So there's a clip that I've seen a lot of people, you know, keep posting and putting it at the ends of their videos where he's just telling you, you know, fucking chase your dreams a bit more, fucking be a bit more annoying, go fucking tell the people you know you love them. And I mean, really, please do that, guys. I mean, that is, I really cannot overstate how much more I wish I could have told him that. I mean, I'm just fucking horrible at telling anyone that I give a damn about that. Like, it's funny, like, I got a friend from college named Darian. He's like one of literally the only handful of people I give a fuck about when I went to college. And I mean, he is on a like tiny list of people who like I just genuinely have fully trusted. And up until I reached back out to him a couple weeks ago, I probably hadn't spoken to him in 2 years, if not more. And I mean, like, I mean, it's fucking hard. Like, I get it. Like, when it really just like the fucking that sank into me. And like the other day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and try and fucking tell people that I care about, that just that itself. And I'm like, I got a small list of people. Like, it was honestly pretty tiny. And I'm like, I need to tell them this. And I managed to tell one person this, and I still haven't found the strength to tell a second. It's fucking hard, guys. I mean, it's hard to, like, I'm not gonna kid anyone, but please fucking do it. So, man, Gacha just. I wish I had better words, but I guess all I can say is just he was a wonderful person. And I mean, if he's watching this, watching all of us, I just genuinely hope that we can kind of take that beautiful soul and just help carry it on. I mean, I know that I do not have it in me to literally fucking just help as many people and be there for as many people as he does, but if I can take a little chunk of that and help a couple and everyone else that he impacted did the same, fuck man, world could be a pretty nice place. But I don't know. I just hope he knows that just how much good he's inspired, and I really hope that we can kind of keep taking that on. And before I let this just ramble on too long, I think I'm gonna be done with the video and just end it off with that little clip I've been seeing that I think it's important for everyone to really just fully grasp it and understand. So till next time, y'all.
Hope you are all enjoying the time with your families and you guys are staying safe during these insane, crazy times. I know it's been a absolute whirlwind out there in terms of how the world's been and how everybody's doing. So I can only imagine how everybody else is going out around in the world. So I hope you guys are all home. You're all staying safe with your families. Make sure to eat a lot. Make sure to enjoy your day quite a bit and all that good stuff. And make sure to tell everybody that you love them. You know, tell them that how grateful you are for them, because again, you never know when you might lose someone.